All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming. All right, what I want to do, what I want to do with you guys today is just show you some things that you can do with the TV trades. Now, I know there are some people who are in here for the first time and have not seen the whole process of how to use TV trades, what to do with it, what to expect, and others who have been using it for a while, others who just signed on. So I'm going to try to cover everything for you. Okay? Now, let's see. I have notes to myself, so I don't I don't mess things up too bad, and I don't skip too many things. All right, with TV trades, what is the best way to know if you're in or entering into a chop period, like on the ES4 tick range or 7 tick range day trades? Okay. Well, I mean, you typically won't know chop until you're in it, until you've stopped out, probably. The question, did I read that out loud? With TV trades, what is the best way to know if we're in or entering into a chop period, like the ES on a 4 tick range or a 7 tick range day trades? Let's go look at that for a second, okay? And while I'm doing this, I'm gonna do some other things to show people who are just starting out. Now, to use this, you have to have TradingView, right? You have to have TradingView charts. If you don't have TradingView charts, you have to go get TradingView charts. It's a really simple process. If you just go here to the home page at Target View Trades, it says Getting Charts right here. Just follow the directions. Click Getting Charts. And I was told by one of our guys today, that there's a pretty good sale going on right now. I was told that it's 50% off sale is what he got. I don't see it right here, but he said he got 50% off. He signed up for the year today. I don't know, but I don't know if he's in here either. I don't see his name in here right now. But anyway, you have to go here and get charts. All right. Now, when you get charts, you can get the basic. That's free if you want to. That'll be good. Well, it'd be good for equities, but you're only going to be able to set one alert. If it's the alerts you're interested in, you're going to be able to set one alert with that. I would say if you're interested in getting alerts sent to your phone or sent, just popping up on your screen or however you want to get the alerts, pay for the essential. It's $14.95 a month. If you trade futures, if you want to use futures, you're going to have to pay for the futures data too. The futures data is $7 a month. Just so you know, it's a great deal for the futures data. That's all you need to pay for is the $7 a month thing. But to get this, again, you just go here to my trading. Just go here to Target View Trades, targetviewtrades.com, and click on Getting Charts. All right, and click on right there. That's going to bring you to that page that I was just at. All right, so that's for anybody that's brand new that doesn't have TradingView charts yet. Now, when you get TradingView charts, once you get the TradingView charts, and I'm going to try to make a list of what I'm actually talking about. This will be helpful to you guys later. When you get the TradingView charts, they're going to assign you an ID, all right? And that ID I'm going to need to enable things. So if you go up here and you hover over this right here, it says logged in as TV trades. That's what I'm logged in as. Now, you could be logged in as whatever you're logged in as, and when you log in, it's going to prompt you. You do the sign-in thing, and it's going to prompt you. You get something like this. Whatever it is that you put in here is what I need, not an email. It's a username, the username that they assign to you. If you do use an email here, like I have all these different things, and I have all these different emails and all that other stuff. And if I do use an email there, it's eventually going to open up, and when it opens up, hang on, it's sending me a thing. And when it does open up, it's going to give me this over here, and it's going to say logged in as whatever I'm logged in as. That is what I need. I don't need the email address. All right, if you give me an email address, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to use that. That's not going to help me with anything. All right, this is what I need here to enable you. Okay, so once I get it enabled and you open up a chart like this one right here that John just asked a question about, and you don't have any indicators on it. Usually it'll be Apple. Apple is the default chart, and I'm going to talk a lot about Apple in a few minutes here. But Apple is the default chart. Okay, and Anyway, you get it on here, and you just have to go to indicators. And now, unless you've ever had somebody give you indicators, enable indicators for you in the past that you've had to pay for on TradingView, you won't have an invite only section. All right, you won't have this section down here. If you think you've given me the right thing and you come in here and you don't have an invite only section, it's because it's not enabled. All right, then when you click on the invite only section, TV trades is what it should say for you. All right, all this other stuff is other things that I've created or had something to do with over the years. But TV trades is should be in here. It might be the only thing you have in there. In most cases, it'll probably be the only thing you have in there. And that's all you have. That's all you have to see and do and click on that. If this is red, then that means you had TV trades, but for some reason you don't have TV trades anymore. Something happened, like I put the wrong date in or something like that, and the expiration, well, it expired, so it gets locked. You only have to put it on the charts. You only have to click it one time. Just click it one time. You don't have to do anything else. Just click it one time and it goes on the charts automatically. Now, by default, this is what it looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like by default, and you'll see it's only showing long trades here, only showing buy opportunities. Okay, by default, and that's fine. I mean, it was originally designed for equities, right? It works great on futures and in stocks and everything else, ETFs and everything else. I'm going to get into all that, but you wanted that. John asked about the ES and chop periods. If you put it on here on a 7-tick range like this, by default it's only going to show you the buys. You have to go in here and turn the shorts on. Okay, to do that, you click on the property thing right over here, the settings, click on that, turn on the shorts right here. Okay, turn it on, and then you got the shorts too. All right, now I've been told that these arrows, if you crunch it up like this, the arrows are kind of small and you can't really differentiate between the lines and the arrows and stuff like that. And people want me to make them wider, but I can't. Can't really make them longer either. That's something that I have to code in when I code it. But what you can do is make them darker. Okay, if you go in here, you can make the arrows black if you want, or some other color that really jumps off the chart, like that. Okay, and it'll really jump off the chart, so you know that that's what you're looking for. It's not red, it's not blue, it's black. Or if you have a white background, or whatever color you have. If you have a black background, you could be using a white arrow, whatever you want to do. But I will put it back the way I had it. There's a blue and red right now. So that's that. Now, John, your question, how do you know if you're entering chop? You don't know until you stop out, usually. I mean, even in the morning session, what you do with me in the morning session with Trading IQ, you get to know trade zones and stuff like that in there. In here, the thing with Trading IQ is you're entering in the middle of a trend most of the time. You don't enter at the beginning. You enter after the first leg has already happened. With this, you're entering in the first leg most of the time. Okay, so if you get stopped out, it's because it entered just a little too soon, or it's just wrong overall in direction. One of the fellas that is actually a one of the fellas that is actually a TV Trades member right now was asking this morning about the ES. How come on the 7-tick range you didn't get any trades? I don't know what he was looking at. I mean, I looked at it and I said, well, the markets are pretty flat today. Maybe that's why. But I hadn't even looked at the ES, the TV Trades 7-tick range stuff. And obviously, you can see that it is giving trades on the 7-tick range. I don't know. I don't know what he was looking at. But anyway, it looked pretty good on a 5-minute. That's what I sent. I said, because I was looking at 5-minute charts, and right here is the 5-minute trade from this morning. Well, actually, that was the one from this morning. This was the one from this morning, the 5-minute chart. Now, so the answer, John, is you're not going to know until you're in the chop. But the thing about this is you're not going to get trade after trade after trade. If you do happen to get a trade that goes like this, and then like this reversal stuff, this is kind of choppy right here. If you get this kind of reversal stuff that's going on, then come in here and put the bias on, all right? The bias is going to keep you in one direction primarily. It's going to eliminate, it's not going to eliminate all of that, but it's going to eliminate most of it. You see what I mean? Now let me explain what the bias is for those of you guys who don't know. The bias was created mostly for futures and options. Not futures and options, futures and Forex. Okay? What this is a 233 moving average. Alright, just a simple moving average. And what the bias level does is it only gives short trades below the 233 and it'll only give long trades above the 233. Okay? So right here you can see the 233 changed right here. Price just crossed over the 233 because right here you had a short, so it had to be below it. And right here you had a long, so it had to be above it. So right here was kind of flat and it changed direction. So right now you're looking for long trades. Okay? John, did that answer your question? So that's why I created the bias level. All right, you can change that. It doesn't have to be a 233. You can change that to whatever you want. And remember, the idea is to not have other stuff on your charts. Jeannie, you had asked this. Are you watching right now, Jeannie? E, F, G, H, I, J. You are watching. Okay. Sorry, I was going through the list of people in here. You don't want to have other stuff all over your charts, right? You want to just watch this enough so that you trust it, and then just take the trades. Okay? I've programmed it to do all the thinking for you. I mean, typically the biggest problem that people have trading, and you guys, any of you guys that have been following me for over 10 years, you know that the biggest problem that people have trading is like right between their ears. They think too much. And I wanted to take all the thinking out of it with this. That was the idea. So, I mean, you can put all kinds of stuff on here if you want. Like, you can go in here and, the thing that is, it's that bias thing that I created for you is a simple moving average. Here's a simple moving average. This is what it looks like on the chart. 233. And look, I'll make it big and fat. So you can all see it. Crystal clear. Now, where people screw this up is they'll look at this and they'll say, oh, well, you know what? It's not really a downtrend. We just had all this stuff going on right here that was above it. I don't know. Should I take that? Shouldn't I take that? And they don't. And then they say right here, well, it's not really an uptrend either. So, I don't know. Should I take that? Shouldn't I take that? Anytime you look at that and you say, I don't know. Anytime you look at it and say, should I or shouldn't I? Forget it. Don't take it. This is your money that you've earned, and you're going to take a risk on it. That's, it's like playing blackjack blindfolded. It's like, hit me. You have no idea what you're looking at. Yeah, don't do it. All right. You can put the stuff on the charts if you want. If you have something that gives you an edge on the charts, and then this just gives you a trigger point for the edge, that's up to you. Okay, but you don't need it. All that other stuff is just going to cloud your decision-making capabilities. And that is a true thing. So, does anybody have any questions yet? So far, I have 2 hands that went up, and I don't see a question from you, but I see your hand went up, and I guess the other one was Ed. I don't see any questions from you guys, but if you guys do have any questions, then by all means, ask them, okay? Type them in. I encourage the questions, all right? Because if you're asking it, somebody else is probably thinking it, all right? So, all right, what I wanted to get into today, I mean, there's a lot of things that I want to get into. I just got to I know last time I ran over a little bit, and I'm already 15 minutes into it, and I haven't even started with what I want to get into. So let me get into it. Let me switch this to, futures is one of the things that I wanted to get into, obviously. And I guess I did cover some things I needed to cover. You see I have all these alerts going off over here from different range levels. I have the 4 range trigger in here. I have the 7 range trigger in here. See, when you create these alerts, they exist as long as you leave them over here. And when you create an alert, something just popped up, and I thought it was, and when you create an alert, it creates it based on the information that you have on the chart at that time. All right, like right now, I have TV trades on, and if I did this, if I went in here and I shut the shorts off, okay, and I do this, and now I go in here and I do an alert. This is how you create the alerts, by the way. You just go up here, click on alert, then click on the TV trades. See, I apparently have 2 of them running right now. Yeah, I got this one in, that one. Okay, so pick on the TV trades, whichever one you're actually using. I guess I put the second one on just as an illustration for you guys. Okay, so we'll go in here, we'll turn this one back on. Click on alerts. Wait, I gotta make sure I shut the shorts off on that. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, on this one, we'll shut the shorts off so I can finish my explanation. So you don't have any shorts on it. Now if I go in here and I click TV trades and I do sell alert, and I do once per bar close, and I do ES, what am I on? 5 minute. 5 minute. I hit create. Now I just created an alert that's going to trigger based upon short trades, but I shut the shorts off. So that alert is never ever ever going to trigger. Okay, if I turn the shorts on right now, if I come in here and turn the shorts on, like that, the alert does not know that I turned the shorts on. Okay, it doesn't get updated when you do that. So it knows that I had the shorts off when I created that alert, and that's all it knows. So that's never going to trigger. I just wanted to let you know that's something that I've actually run into. The alert does not update when you update it on the chart. All right, the alert, it takes what you put on the chart and it stores all that information. That's why I can go to another chart and that information will still trigger. I mean, the alert will still trigger based on the information it had at that time. Okay, and the alerts are a huge thing. You know, let me show you something. Here, let me see. This is going to pop up. I don't know what screen it's going to pop up on. I'll show you something in a minute here. Okay, it's popping up right here. For those of you guys who don't know, we have a Telegram channel. Okay, and some of you guys, I can see the number of people in it is growing daily. But these alerts trigger on my phone. Like right now, you probably just heard things triggering on my phone. And here's my phone right in front of me. I had a bunch of things triggered on my phone. And I mean, here, I'll send you this thing right here that just triggered on my phone. How do I send that? You go there and click on Telegram and do that and choose that and send it. Okay, and you see these things trigger on your phone, and this happened on Friday afternoon. I had all these alerts trigger on my phone, and this is what they did. Right, we had QQQ did this, AMD did that, Netflix did that, Intel did that. Now, those are all alerts triggered on my phone. These are the alerts that just triggered on my phone now. Well, you can see that's just straight a screenshot from my phone. But this, my TradingView verification code that I needed to get in here. But this alert on the ES about a crossing. Alert on NVIDIA, possible buy soon. Hey dude, if you want to buy some shoes. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that you can have it set to go right to your phone. And I have that set to go to my phone during the morning session. For those of you guys who know, during the morning session, I'm doing a million things. Now I just added like 1,000,010 more. But I have that triggered, and so I can see when an alert triggers on something else, you know, even if it's not on the chart that I'm using, if it triggers on another chart that I have going on another monitor, and I can jump in and do things like bring up pictures like this. Here, like Apple this morning. Now, is this the beginning of the session? I think it is. Apple calls. I don't know if that's the end of the day or the beginning of the day. I can't tell. I think it is the beginning of the day. Okay. So in here, what I did at the beginning of the day is I took a screenshot of the Apple calls because it gave an Apple long. And hang on, that was, if I go here to equity, I think it was over here on equity that I was doing all that. Yeah, we'll leave this. and go over here to equity. Do you guys have any questions? I don't see any other questions coming in. I don't know if that's because I've got this set up the wrong way or because I am not getting the questions. Oh, oh, look, I didn't have it set up. Sorry, I didn't have it set up right. I was only stuck on one question. Okay, end of day yesterday. Good example. Sorry, no audio settings. Why? Audio settings on what, Edward? Okay, now I see your question. Kevin, you signed up. Have an icon that mentions how to update your subscription and offered 50. Oh, okay, for the free account. You're talking about TradingView. Okay, I now see all this stuff. I didn't see all your questions a minute ago. On ES, do I prefer 7-range or 5-minute chart? Well, in the morning session, Wilton, I use the 7-range all the time, but when I was creating these alerts, I was creating all the alerts on a 5-minute. So you can do it on whatever you want. The 7-range is going to be less risk. When I say risk, I mean the stop. And Jenny, the questions are working. Sorry, I had them out of view. You're not adding to the TV trades indicator. Just want to know the difference in the context. I did get your email. I'm going to cover that in a minute. I have your picture up right over here. Right here. I have your picture up. Okay. I'm going to cover that in a minute. And for the plus, that's good. That was a good deal, Kevin. 179 for 1 year at the plus. That is a good deal. And Edward, you said you couldn't hear the audio. I don't know if you still hear. Everybody else can hear the audio. Okay, sorry, I had these questions in the wrong place. All right. I was stuck on the one question. That's why I got John's one question, and I didn't realize I couldn't see any of the other ones. All right. So now I think I got that squared away. So, where was I? I was coming over here to look at Apple, but now that I've seen all the other questions, one question was about the ES and the 7-range. It depends on how you like to trade. All right. Now, the way that I trade, I prefer to use range bars everywhere. All right. But I know that most people don't use range bars everywhere. And if you have an alert for a stock, for instance, that you're not really watching, but you just want to know when it's in a good buying situation, you can use minute charts for that, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30-minute charts to know if you're in a decent place where you should start paying attention. I use range charts for everything. And just let me give you an example. This is NVIDIA on a 5-minute chart. Okay, so in a 5-minute bar, you get a lot of movement in each one of these 5-minute bars. Like in this particular bar right here, we'll say the current bar with that arrow on it. The bar with the arrow on it, we had it had a high of 951.25 and a low of 948.90. So it only had a couple of bucks in it. Okay, that's not a lot for NVIDIA, but with something priced as high as this, 960 bucks, you'd probably use like a 50 to 100 range bar. Okay, now when you're talking about stocks, the way that it works, each tick is a penny. So 100 range bar is a $1 bar. So every bar is $1. Okay, that's the way that it works with stocks. So you would have to get something that you're comfortable with. If you're on a 100 range bar, the maximum stop that you're going to have is going to be $2. The maximum stop will be $2. Okay, in this particular case right here, it was $1.90. The one thing about range bars though is you can't do bar replay. You can't go back and do bar replay. You just have to go back and look. But the maximum stop is going to be $2. It'll be 2 bar lengths because the maximum stop will be the bottom of the prior bar that got you into the trade. Okay, it'll be the bottom of the bar before the one that got you into the trade. The bottom of the trigger bar. Right, the bottom of the bar before the trigger bar. Does that make sense? It's not like what we do in the morning. For any of you guys that watch me in the morning and do the stuff that I do in the morning, I know a lot of you guys do or have. The way that works in the morning, I'm trying to find a drawing object here. Here it is over here. Okay. Oops, nope, that didn't work. Maybe I gotta click on it. There it is. So in the morning, all bars go like this, right? They go up and down, up and down, up and down. But the way that this works, like let's say your trigger is over here on this bar, it's going to put the stop right here. All right, the bar before, the low of the bar before. That's how the stops work. Okay. That is how the stops work. So like this one right here, your trigger was right there, your stop is going to be right down there. Trigger is there, your stop's going to be there. And this one, your trigger is here, your stop's going to be right there. Alright? And this one, your trigger is here, right there. Your stop is going to be down there. Down there. Okay, that's how that works. Just so you know, it doesn't work like the stuff that we do in the morning because, you know, most of the time, people aren't going to be using range bars. And even if you are using range bars, you know, you should know this little bit of information because, you know, it's not necessarily going to be 2 points every time. It can be like this one right here where the close of the bar, because the open was there, it had this whole big range down at the bottom. The close was at the top of the bar, but the top of the bar was only a couple of ticks above the top of this bar. So this one right here had a pretty small stop comparatively. Alright, I just want you guys to understand that stuff. The person who mentioned the trading XOM at the open with TV trades. Yes, what about it? Let me see if he's in here. He is not in here. But I did XOM. I did a little analysis with XOM today too, John. He's not in here right now. He wasn't feeling good. He actually came in the morning session this morning. He came in a little late this morning. You might have heard me. If you were in there this morning, you heard me say something to him. Because he wasn't there yesterday, and he came in today late, and he said he wasn't feeling well. And that's what prompted me to ask Dave how he was doing this morning. Because he had something that put him in the emergency room over the weekend. Anyway, so new questions. Oh, that's what that thing is. That's a little green thing that says after the trigger bar closes, you could enter at the open of the next bar. Yeah, you could enter at the open of the next. If you're using range bars, yeah, after the trigger bar closes, you can open at the end. You can enter at the open of the next bar, or less if it pulls back, or a little more if it keeps going up. But when you get the arrow, you know, that's when you're going to get the alert. And another thing you should know about the alerts, you get the arrow when it shows the alert time down here. It shows the beginning time of the bar after the alert. Right? So the arrow, the bar that the arrow is on shows the beginning time of the bar that the arrow is on. Like down there at the bottom it says 15:09:04. That's the beginning time of that bar. This one says 15:13:03. That's the beginning time of that bar. That's what time the arrow is going to say. Alright, so like right now on NVIDIA, it's saying we had a buy condition met at 15:20:07. Hang on. Am I at the bottom? At the top? Oh, this is a 5-minute NVIDIA. That's why it's not. Alright, on a 5-minute NVIDIA, let's go there. And it'll make more sense. Here you go. So this one right here, beginning of this bar is 15:20. And so it took 7 seconds for it to get over there, for it to get listed over here. Alright? That's what that means. So yes, you could enter at the open. Back to XOM, what time frame does he use for that? 15 range is what he uses for that. Alright, when Ray is doing that, he's doing it on a 15 range. If I minimize this, I think I got one up here. Do I? Yeah, right here I got a 15 range XOM. So he usually does like this right here in the morning. He'd grab this trade first thing in the morning. And, you know, he has... The reason I wanted to show you options with this is to show you how you can still make money without having to have, you know, $118,000 account or $150,000 account to be able to trade 1,000 shares of this and make $1,000 at a time. You know, if you think about it, you know, if you can get like from here to here, 118 to, well, let's say 118 up to 119 is $1. Now today it went what, 118. Let's just say 119 up to 119.45. It's only 50 cents. So percentage-wise, that's less than 0.5%. It's probably close to 1/4%. But if you could get 1/4% per day, you know, that's add it up. There's 20 days in a month, right? That's 5% a month. 5 times 12. That's 60% a year. If you could do that on a regular basis, and that's just 0.5% in one trade. But what I want to show you with the options, and let me step back. I don't want to lose everybody who's brand new, okay? Because I know there's a lot of people in here right now, and I don't I don't want to lose the people who are brand new. Let me go over some of these things really quick, and then I'm going to jump into all the other stuff, because the options, the options that you could have played today, that triggered today, they were good. They did really well, and they do every day. And the title of this was Futures and Options. So let's get into a little bit, but let me finish going over this. All right. Now, by default, this is what it looks like. It comes on like this. Actually, this is in the middle, the top middle by default. Okay. Well, let me just put one on by default. Okay. We'll just put one on. This is what it looks like. Okay. When it loads up, there it is. That's what it looks like. So if you come into here and you want to see shorts, you just check the short box. If you want to see the risk reward in the box, you check the risk reward. That's reward risk, because that's the way it's actually divided, reward over risk. And what that tells you in here, you really want that to be 1 or greater. And what it tells you in here is it divides the difference between the entry point and the first target by the difference between the entry point and the stop. Alright, so you really want that to be at least 1. Okay, let me say that again. It divides the difference between the entry and the first target by the difference between the entry and the stop. Okay, if your stop is bigger, then that number is going to be below 0 and below 1. Right? If your stop is bigger than your first target, then that number is going to be below 1. Now, sometimes that'll be because the first target is like right on top of you, and in that case, you may want to rethink the math and do it on the second target. But it does it always based on the first target. Okay, that's what the risk reward is. If you want to have it on there. Now, you can show the target lines on the chart. There's a little quirk about the target lines. When you put them on the chart, it is going to show both these target lines and the bar before its target, the arrow before its target lines for 5 bars. All right, however long 5 bars takes. So if you had a long before you had the short, it's going to have the long ones still up here, and then it's going to have the short ones down here. Just to give you a reference. Okay. Okay, so that's that stuff, the risk reward, the lines on the chart. Let me just jump into this. I can probably get this all done in 5 minutes. I already did the bias level for the most part for you. Number of targets is pretty clear. You can just add 1 to 5 targets in there if you want. If you don't want to display that at all, you can shut it off. The display warning alert, that is for this thing right here. If you want that to show, leave it on. It's on by default. If you don't want it to show, just shut it off. Okay. I had one guy that was bugging him, but it used to be right here on price, and he uses a 6-hour chart. So it was right there on price for 6 hours. And I can see why it was bugging him. So I moved it back 25 bars, and I made it so you can shut it off. This stuff here is just to move the table around. You can move it top, bottom, middle, whatever. I had it bottom right is what I had it. And that seems to be a pretty good place for it to go. When you look at your charts, you end down here. Reading left to right, the way that us Americans do. That's pretty much all you need. You can draw the pivot labels on there if you want to. That's just a bunch of noise for me. I know I put them on there because it's good information to know that that's where you're actually, with the target lines on the chart, you'll see that they go back to pivots. Okay. It gives you an idea if you started to move up, the pivots are going to be up here. Okay, if you want to look back at that stuff, you can see a lot more than what you're seeing here, more than just 5. If you want to look back at that stuff. This number down here, occasionally you're going to get a timeout when it's looking back for data. I tried to fix it so that doesn't happen very often, but occasionally you get a timeout and all your indicators will go away. You'll have an exclamation point right here, and it'll say, if you click on it, it'll say data timed out. Just subtract like 500 from that and say, okay, it'll come right back. It doesn't happen very often, and I'm going to get a fix to that at some point. Okay, but that's pretty much what you need to know about setting it up. You can change the colors in the box. In the table you can change all these colors. You can change the background color of this. If you have a black background, you can make this white and change all these to black. If you want, you can do all that kind of stuff too. I put all that in there for you. Okay. Alright, so let's get into the meat of this. Let me go back up and make sure. John said, reminding people that I have all these new videos. I did this thing in here, guys. TV trade settings. Everything that I just talked about is in here. I have videos about all of it. Okay, if you go here to targetviewtrades.com, I created videos about all these things individually in here, all these settings individually. Alright, they're just short, like 1 or 2 minute videos for the most part. One of them, the target one, I think. This one, I think, is the longest. But you can go in here, and everything that I just told you, you can go in here and watch it without having to go through this whole recording. When the recording is done, you can go in here and see all that stuff, okay? And the alerts, I think I'm going to remake this alert video. This doesn't really show you how to use the alert. This little thing right here. It says to use these 3 dots over here. But I'm going to remake that alert video, but you can go in there and get the basics for the alerts in there too. Getting charts, we already covered that. The setup, how to set it up, I covered that in here, but you can watch it in here too. I don't know how long this video is. It is apparently 8 minutes long. Okay. But all that stuff is on there if you want. In the economic news, I changed this recently to use the investing.com calendar. I might go back to the one from TradingView. The TradingView calendar it's a little cleaner. It doesn't show as much information, but it's a little cleaner. Anyway, that's all that stuff. So back here to the charts. Hang on, now I got to move that over, and those menus and indicators. Yes, I'm John, Jeannie. I'm planning on doing this. I'm going to try to do these every Tuesday. Okay, I'm going to try to do them on Tuesdays. You're welcome, John. All right. So there was one other thing that I wanted to show you. I'm trying to find. Hang on, Jeannie. It was your picture. You sent it to me in an email, and I can't find it. Anyway, I'll get back to that. Okay. Futures, options. All right. Right now, we're looking at XOM, and the options on XOM this morning. XOM it had this green arrow this morning. This blue arrow this green. Had this blue arrow this morning right here, right at 118.90, and it was at 942. If we go, I had this thing running somewhere. Uh-oh. I'm sure I'm connected in a whole bunch of devices. This right here. I had this running. This is for Apple, but I can change it to a different symbol. Let's do XOM. Okay, ExxonMobil. And here is ExxonMobil options on the day. Now, the thing that I really wanted to show you about this was the day's range, which is bid-ask price change. They can let me do that. Yeah, here it is. If we just click on that. Contract name, volume, bid-ask. I was looking for the day's range on the puts and calls. You can't really see the day's range right here. I know I had found that earlier. Anyway, what I was trying to illustrate for you is that you'll get a signal. Let's go back here. You get a signal on the XOM, we'll say, as our example. And this morning, the XOM calls were right here. Yeah, this was 8:54, so this was 9 a.m. And this is what they were priced at the money. The 118 calls are priced at 140 by 145, and they were a little out of the money. They're 86 by 89. And by the end of the day, I had the whole day's worth of stuff in here at one point, but we'll just go to the end of the day. The same calls, we're looking at the 118 and 119, right? So the 119 here are now 102 by 104, and they began the day at 86 by 89. So that's, I mean, it's not a ton of money, but that's 10%, as opposed to what I was talking about earlier, you know, the 0.5%. That's 10%, and that happens just about every day. It happens even greater than that most of the days. Now, I'm showing you calls in here. You can do puts too if you're doing. Well, you could do puts on on anything really. But if you're doing things like the SPY, I know I had a fella last night who was saying he just wants to trade the SPY, and that's great if you just want to trade the SPY. There's a lot of ways you can do it. You can just trade the SPY, of course, by itself, and you can trade options on the SPY. And I think I put some of those together too. I do have SPY calls. Yeah, SPY calls. I don't know. It was really a flat day today, but this was this morning at 8:56. The 529s are 145, 148, and at the end of the session today, I don't know what they are right now, but at the end of the session, which those SPY calls 3, SPY calls this one. I had the naming convention backwards. So what were they? The 529s are 145 by 148, and now the 529s are 179 by 183. It's a 20-cent difference, and that's in just a few hours. That was between whatever it was. Well, this is 11:23, and this was 8:56, so 2.5 hours. That's another 10-15% right there. So there's a ton of ways to make money if you want to trade options. I don't know if you like to trade options. It's an option. But if you're doing, that was the SPY, and on days where it's actually really active and moving around a lot, those numbers they'll be huge. The thing that I was trying to show you this morning, I was looking at Apple because that was the first signal that we got this morning, I think, once markets started opening up. Here it is right here, Apple, and you can see I had a nice run, and it's still on a nice run. Let me bring up that one thing that I was looking at a minute ago. Not that one. Not that one. This one. We'll go back to Apple on this. AAPL. Okay. So in here, these are what they're priced at right now, and the prices, they change after the markets close. So the markets aren't closed yet, so they're still probably pretty good. But let's get the beginning price this morning. Apple calls this morning. Is this morning? 9:43. Okay, so the 190s were 247 by 253 this morning. And the 190s are now 298 by 295. Right, 247 by 253, and now they're 298 by 245. So they're up 30 cents, which is another 10%. But if you look at the, these are just little moments of the day, but if you look at the range of the day, I'm sure the range of the day is more than what you're seeing right here. So if you get into it and you say you put a like 20% target on it, 25% target on it for the day. I mean, you see it's up 41.9%, but that's day over day, I think. But you put like a 20-25% target on it. If you get a signal from here that says go long, and you want to take a chance on something that's limited risk. Your risk is limited to what you pay for the option. Then you can get into it, and these, the options that I'm looking at are 1 week options. So they're actually, those are 4 days old. 4 days left. 4 DTE. So they got some life left in them anyway. Even if it didn't work in 1 day, you still have it for a little bit more time. I just wanted to show that to you as another alternative for using TV trades. Now, TV trades, again, by itself, if you just wanted to buy the stock, of course it's great. But not everybody can afford to go out and pay $190 for, 100 shares of stock. Maybe 20 grand you got to put in that. And you can do it with options if you want to. All right. So I said futures and options. I really focused a lot on the options here, but let me go to the futures part now. Okay. You guys good with that? Here, we'll go to this. And so, is Casey in here? Casey is not in here. Alright, before anybody goes too far, I should show you this. If you're interested in this, there's a free trial. Go here to TradingView Trades and sign up here. It's 25 bucks a week if you want to get started. There's a free trial for that. 90 bucks a month. There's a free trial for that. If you're really convinced and you want to pay for the annual, I don't really put a trial on the annual because, well, you're paying for the year. Free, take the free trial if you want to take a free trial. All right, I made it dirt cheap, so you can get in there and take the free trial if you want to. All right, really dirt cheap even after the trial's done. The trial is free. I always forget to say these things. Anyway, let's get back here. All right. So this is the ES. Now the ES gave some really nice signals today, and again, the stop is going to be the bar before. All right, your stop is going to be the bar before. So with the ES, that's usually going to be pretty close to. It's usually going to be pretty close to 2 full bar lengths. All right. So if you got it on a 7 range, you're looking at possibly a 14 tick stop, up to 14 tick stop. Okay. If you do it on any other time frame, the countdown to 0 time frames, like a minute, 5 minute, tick chart, volume chart, whatever you do, that is not a range chart, the ones that count down to 0, then you got to use a prior swing, right? So, I mean, this is going to give you the prior bar. Is going to give you the prior bar, okay? But well, it's going to give you the prior bar. That'll work just fine. Your stop is not going to be limited to 2 bar lengths, though. It's not going to have a maximum of 2 bar lengths, because that prior bar could be a long way. I guess that's the point I was trying to make. It could be a lot less, like this one right here, but this bar length is pretty long. It could be smaller, like this one, because the prior bar is right there. So if we did a replay on this, this is on a 5 minute. So if we do the replay and we go back here, you will see the stop in this case is 1.75 points. So that's not bad. That's 7 ticks. But a stop on something else, let me just hit stop on that. A stop on like this one right here is 3 points. Okay, because it's going from the entry to the low of the prior bar, and this bar here is a pretty long one. So your stop's going to be a little bit bigger in that case. If someone wants to convert from the weekly to the monthly or to an annual on TV trades, how do you do that? Yeah, just tell me. Just tell me, John, and I will help you out with that. I know that your original intent, what you told me, was one thing, and then what you did was another thing. I know, but yeah, just tell me, and I'll make it work for you. Kevin. But in a TradingView with plus or higher, you can do data export. Will the indicators export with that data? The indicators export? I think, Kevin, I think the data export, I think, just gives you an Excel spreadsheet. I don't think it exports any indicators. It might show you indicator values. I don't know. I've never actually done it. Okay. Yeah, let me go back and see. Okay. All right, you are in here, Kevin. All right. You're asking me questions on my phone, and there's a question box in here too. All right. So, what time is it? Crap, it's 3:48. I'm running out of time again. So with futures, I just wanted to point out, the stop is always going to be the bottom of the bar before. So if you're on like a minute chart or a 5 minute chart, what I teach in the morning when you're on something other than what we're using, because we're using what we do in the morning, it's not the same as this, Jeannie. It's not the same as this. All right. You can't put them both together when you're doing that. Like, what I do in the morning, it looks like this, right? For those of you guys who don't know, looks like this. Right. This is just a little piece of it when it loads up. So it looks like that. Right? You can't mix that with that. Right? And there will be times where one is given a long and one is given a short. Like right here. This is given a long while this was given a blue arrow short. In the morning, the blue arrow is the highest probability short trade. In here, the blue arrow is just your only probability long trade. Alright? You can't mix them up. If you do mix them up, you shouldn't do it on the same computer. Alright? If you're going to do both, it's like, driving a boat and a car. You know how to do both, and they both get you where you want to go, as long as they're both going there. But you can't do them both at the same time. You got to choose one or the other, and you'll eventually get where you're going. Some of them will get you there faster. Okay, they're definitely different strategies. Yeah, the logic that goes into giving this long trade is not the same as the logic that goes into giving the stuff that we do in the morning. The stuff we do in the morning counts on the pullbacks. This doesn't count on the pullback. Okay, you don't see it counting on a pullback here. So it's totally different. Okay, so if you have a long trade, a blue arrow long from the morning session, and you have a red arrow short in here, the one in the morning is with the trend that you're looking at in the morning. This is a total different thing. You're looking at a total different starting point, a total different everything. So you can't mix them up. Okay, I would recommend don't mix them up. Alright, and also the stuff that we do in the morning, your stop is always going to be, if you have it on like a minute chart, your entry would be here and your stop would be down here. Alright, you're not using the prior bar, the low of the prior bar, because the entry is a completely different point. The entry is, the reason for your entry is a total different reason, so the entry is a completely different point. Alright, I don't want to go too far down that road. I'm running out of time as it is. Did I show you the Apple stuff? I think I did, right? What I wanted to show you about Apple was the options on Apple. I did show you that. In here, the NQ. I know a lot of you guys trade the NQ. And when I trade the NQ in the morning session, I trade it on a 15 range bar. Okay? 15 range bar is what I traded on in the morning. The reason I do that in the morning is because it keeps my stops tight. Alright? Now, I just explained to you that in here, the stops are different. Like in here, on a 15 range bar, like on this one right here, what is the stop on this? The long entry was right here at 765, right? Yeah, 765. And the stop was 4.5 points. So that's smaller than the stop in the morning. That's 18 ticks compared to the morning session stop, which is always 20 ticks. In here, your stop with a 15 range bar, your maximum stop would be 30 ticks, but your minimum would be 15. And this one here is 18. Okay, so that's how it works. This one right here just triggered again. So right here, your stop in this case is 6.5 points. So that's 26 ticks, okay, because it's going down here to the bottom of this. But this would be a perfect trade so far, right? And it gave you a warning. It let you know ahead of time that the trade was coming right here. If I had it set up to give the warning, it would have given you the warning right here. Get ready for a long trade on the NQ. And there it was. Bingo, right there. So when it gives you the warning, if it gives you the warning, on the next bar, it's going to be the trigger, right? The up close on the next bar should be the trigger. It's not always the trigger, but most of the time, the up close on the next bar is going to be the trigger, but it's not always the trigger. It's not always going to be the case, but it's usually going to be the case. Okay, there's a certain sequence of things that have to happen to make that trigger you, and then that be the trigger. All right, there are times where, like right here, you would have gotten the warning right there, and that didn't finish the trigger. Okay, and that closed down, so it didn't give you the trigger at all. If that would have closed up, you would have gotten the trigger on that bar, but it didn't. It closed down. Okay, so hang on, I'm going up. Are there times when one is better than the other? I don't know that. Should TV trades be set up with minute time frame versus a range? That depends on your risk and how you like to trade. I mean, I like range bars because I know when the bar is going to close. All right. How do you pay for data for futures on TradingView? You don't see that option. D, let me show you. I sent an email to a fella yesterday, and I had in the email screenshots of it. So let me find that. I don't have my email open, but let me open up my email and I'll find it, and I'll show you exactly. I mean, I would do it right here, but no, I'll just show you right here. This is easy enough. What you do is you click on this, you go to TV Trades, you go to Accounts and Billing. Okay, and when this opens up, you go down here to Add Extra Market Data. You don't actually have to click on that. The one that you need is this one right here. For futures, you need this one right here. Okay, and it costs $7 plus tax. $7 plus tax is what it costs. All right, so that's all you have to do. Now, if I go back here to products and supercharts, I'll go through it one more time with you, okay? You just have to go right here. However you're logged in, that may be here. It's here for me. For you, it might be over here somewhere. Maybe some other place, but for me, it's right here. Go there, click on that. Go to this little arrow, then go to account and billing. Okay, and in account and billing, for futures, you just need, where is it? Down here, add extra market data. For futures, you just need this one, the CME, CBOT, COMEX, NYMEX. It's only $7. That is an awesome deal. $7. You know, when years and years ago, like 20 years ago, when I used to trade with TradeStation, I used to pay like, crap, I think it was like $500 a month for data. And it was ridiculous. But that's how you do it, okay, D? That's how you get the real-time data for futures. All right. If you trade in equities, stocks, I don't pay for any stock data. You can get it if you want to. It's like $2 a month or something like that. If you want to get it, you know, in here, well, this is all. That's not stocks, but you can go and get all that stuff if you want to, stock stuff. But you don't need to pay for it, or I don't pay for it. Anyway. Alright, we're going back here to supercharts. Okay. Let me see. Into markets, website stuff, how to set up an alert, explain the options in the settings. I did that. The different arrow colors, I did that. Multiple markets, I did that. Alright, so again, the whole idea behind this is for you to not have to put any other indicators on here. Alright. Now I know we have some guys that are doing really well with this that do have other indicators on there. And this adds to their edge. Or the other stuff was something, you know, it's what I typically call baggage. You know, this is different. The stuff that I do in the morning where I teach people how to trade, by the time people get to me in the morning, you know, and the stuff that I do in the morning, they've usually been trading for a long time and they've never had any success. And they end up there because they haven't had success and they have all this baggage and all these bad habits. This is not the same thing. Alright, this is not the same thing. I mean, you don't need any of that stuff. You can bring that baggage along if you want to, but you don't need to. And you'll know. You'll know when your baggage is causing a problem. Because you see the signal here, and if your baggage said don't do that, and you didn't do it, and then after the fact, say, oh wow, that was an awesome trade. You'll know. Your baggage is causing the problem. You don't need to bring it. If you do, and it improves your edge, that's great. You know, this is a great edge as it is, but you know, if you can improve on it, that's great. If you want to share it with me, something that does improve, and you want to share it with me, and I might be able to build it in, then that's also something you can do. But you don't need to have anything else. The whole idea behind this was you don't have any lines on the chart. Okay, you just have this stuff telling you what direction you should be thinking, and this stuff making it clearly obvious when something should happen. Okay, in here we would have gotten a trade in here if that was an up close. That would have given you a trade right there if that was an up close. Okay. Alright. Did I answer everybody's questions? I want to make sure I answer everybody's questions. Again, if you haven't signed up for the free trial, guys, it's really simple. Just go here to targetviewtrades.com, targetviewtrades.com, and the free trial is right here. Right? Click on one of these to sign up for one of these. Hey. Hey, Shane. I don't know how I must have, yeah, I do have that over there. That's how it's getting over there. Alright. Shane joined today, I think. But go here, okay, and sign up for the trial right there. Alright, whichever one you want to do, and you can go from one to the other if you just want to sign up for the weekly. The reason I made this one so cheap is sometimes a 3-day trial is not enough, and $25 is like, you know, the cost of a pizza to join. So you can get a whole week of it for $25, and if you don't like it after a week, okay, you're all done. And then some people like to do the monthly, and some people like to do the annual. You know, it's really been a mix of people the way people have joined since since I actually started doing the whole multiple thing last week. So right now we got a possible buy on Meta and a possible buy on Intel. Oh, right there, it just showed up over here. It just showed up on my phone too. That's what I was pointing it out to you. So for me, look, we got a short right here. Now, you see how it just triggered up all those lines right there, and it gave you all those targets. You got the shorting opportunity with all the targets. Now, if you had the bias on, you wouldn't have that short right there. I don't think. Yeah, see, that short would go away. Because right here we have higher highs and higher lows, so you're in an uptrend. Alright. Now the short, it could work out very well. What it should do, because you have a lower high right here, this is all the stuff that I teach in the morning. It should probably work out because you have a lower high right here. It didn't finish the move up right here. So it showed weakness right there, and it should move down from here. But that's all the stuff that I teach in the morning. That's not this. The whole reason we're doing this is because if you have baggage that's never worked for you, you can just drop all that and just start here fresh. Or if you don't know how to trade, you can just start here and start making money. And if you want to learn how to trade, that's a whole other process, and I'm happy to show you how to do that too. But that's a different website. You can go to mytradingiq.com if you want to do that. It's actually literally that, mytradingiq.com. If a lot of you guys came here from there. But not everybody in here came here from there. So, any more questions? Did I answer them all? Last time I ran over like 15 minutes, and I really don't like doing that because you guys probably schedule a little time around this. I'm happy to answer questions all day long. I got nothing else while I do. I want it's 80 degrees and sunny. I want to go out to my boat, but but I'm happy to sit here and answer questions. Let's see. Every time. Well, that's why I think I'll try to do these. I'll try to do these every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. I'll try to do one every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. If you guys want to come back next Tuesday, and if you have questions from now that if you don't take the trial, I mean, I don't know why people wouldn't take the trial. One, the trial's free. Two, it's only $25. Really, $25. That's like a drive-through meal. You can't go to Zaxby's and not spend $25. But yeah, the no indicators thing, that's why I designed the whole thing. That was my intention when I started thinking about this last year. The stuff that I base this on, those of you guys that have been watching me for like 10 years, you don't even know, but it's been on the charts in front of you, and I've been watching it for years. And it was actually even in your indicator set for a little while. I took it out, but when in here, there's a lot fewer things in here than there used to be. Switches and stuff like that. But I test things in real time all the time. Anyway, take the free trial. Alright, it really is free. And if you have any trouble getting the indicators together, go here to the website first. Go to Getting Charts. Just follow the instructions. Alright, I made a whole video about it. I think it's part of the setup video in here. I go through all that stuff. But I'll probably do a video with Getting Charts. Jada told me that some people just like to read instead of actually watching a video. They just like to read about how to do that. And I think I did that in here, right? I wrote a PDF down here. I created this long PDF, and it took me like a full day to create this PDF, but now it's all outdated because I've updated things a lot since then. If you look through here, see, it used to have the arrows down here. They used to be big blocky arrows like that, and inside the properties, this is all that I had in there. These 4 things in there, and I had that. that nobody seemed to understand, and those I always were on anyway. It's changed a lot since I created that PDF. But anyway, that's it, guys. I am going to wrap it up. Take the free trial, and I'll get you going today. All right. Make sure you give me the login ID. All right, the proper login ID right there. And I'll get you going today. Okay. If you have any trouble with this, like over here on this thing, not that, this thing, this. If these give you any trouble, let me know, because I have another way to do it. This goes through Stripe, and I have another thing that uses Shopify. So the Shopify one, if the Stripe one doesn't work, the Shopify one almost always does. But I couldn't put both of them in here. That would look kind of silly. But if you have any trouble with that, because I have had people that that were using Firefox, a Firefox browser. Sharon, are you in here? You were in here earlier. I know she was having trouble with that the other day, and she actually ended up doing it 3 times, and she did it, and she went and did it through the other one, through the Shopify, and they all eventually came through. I had to cancel 2 of them, but I know that has given more than one person trouble. Okay, so if you do have any trouble with it, you can email me and let me know, and I'll help you out. All right, everybody. It is 4:06. I'm gonna wrap it up. If you have any questions, you can email support at targetviewtrades.com. Support at targetviewtrades.com. Email any questions there. Okay. Trial really is free for the first 3 days, so you can take that there. Really easy. And this is how you get your charts. All right. If you don't have any charts, what Kevin had said earlier, I was telling you about Kevin who took the charts today, and he said he signed on for the plus, and when he signed on for the plus, he signed on for the plus free trial, and when he was in the process of signing on for the plus free trial, they offered him a 50% off discount, so he got a whole year of plus for $170 is what he said. So that's pretty awesome. All right, and if you already have TradingView, I'm not sure that they would do this, but I think if you already have TradingView, and you go to upgrade, they might offer you the discount when you try to upgrade, or you could always just cancel your TradingView and then log in again, and they'll offer you the discount then. A couple times a year they give like a 70% off discount, and they usually do it once in the summer and once in the winter. So in the winter is usually around Thanksgiving. In the summertime is usually around now, around Memorial Day. All right. Okay. So once again, I am saying, I'll see you guys a little bit later. All right. If anybody has any questions, email me. Most of you guys have my phone number. You can text me. My phone number is in pretty much all the stuff that's out there online anyway. All right. Thanks everybody. We'll see you all later.